Hello, welcome back everyone. I am MetaShift, and tonight we have the Conqueror League in Titan. Joining me, Freedom Potatoes. First time together.
Yeah, first time together. It's been a while since I was on the stream, but good to be back. Excited to be casting this series here.
Yeah, I missed last week, so I'm excited to be back. Don't know what I missed, but don't really care. We got Akuma versus Syndicate. What is it? Bunnygirls?
Mm-hmm.
And the Akuma Shurikens. This is Group A, both teams 1 and 4, but that means it's competitive. They're both going to be fighting for playoffs. I mean, I think they have to work. They probably have to win out to get there, but it starts with tonight.
Yep, that's exactly how it starts. You know, these teams have a little bit of hope, and they're going to try to hold on to that till the very end, I think.
Yeah, which means probably no trolling in the draft, so I expect them to both take it very seriously. I guess we'll find out. Here it is, Game 1 draft. you're the guy. You know the analytics, right?
A little bit, yeah. I've been looking through these teams, so I mean, it seems to me like Akuma probably going to play through their mid and jungle. Those seem to be really consistent performers for them. And on the side of Syndicate, I think mid and bot seem to be the kind of core carries for that team. And we're seeing a Varus banned away by actually Syndicate. I think Repent, their ADC player, seems to be a big Varus player, so I'm surprised to see that banned by them instead of their opponents. But
are the sides correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Wukong is the most played for Chris, our D1 player. I don't know if you're allowed to say that on stream, but our big climber, our big Conqueror climber right now.
There you go.
So, yeah, Chris's Wukong being banned away. On the other side, you said it's Repent's Varus is gone. So we'll see if Syndicate's going to first pick a different AD carry.
It looks like Akuma's also banned out that notorious Orianna Jarvan combo. I know both junglers also like to play a lot of Nocturne, so that's another thing we could have seen paired with the Orianna. I think both mid junglers have a lot of overlapping picks. They've got like Aurora and Kari, and for Syndicate Bunnygirls, it's going to be Skarner picked away first. Still a pretty strong pick, offers a lot of lockdown, a lot of frontline, creative gank setup, and it's matched with the Lilia, which is a more carry-oriented pick, offering a lot of damage.
Definitely a good counter pick to the first pick, Skarner. Lilia, I don't know, I just feel like she's been weak lately, though. I feel like she's not up there. Her clear speed's much slower. They nerfed her damage. I think Skarner's Skarner's also weak now, but I think Skarner might be okay in the counter pick. Like, the champ offers way too much. Pair it with something like Kalista, and you said they like to play around bot lane, right? That's Repent.
That's what it seemed like to me from looking at the match history a little bit. And yeah, Kalista offers a lot of early pressure, so I'm definitely expecting them to make big plays down there early, with the Renata picked up as well. So they've got a lot of utility down there, and if they can get that Kalista ahead, it's going to be very hard to shut her down. She offers a lot of objective setup. On the other side, they're matching that with a Jinx, a little bit more range, a little bit more consistent DPS in the late game. So yeah, I think it's really going to be a story of if Syndicate Bunnygirls bot lane can get that early lead and shut the Jinx down. And they've also picked up, for the side of Akuma, the Ornn, a lot of late game scaling, giving them a little bit more frontline and some big team fight engage.
Yeah, I mean, so far, very good from both teams. I actually know UltraCAD on Syndicate, very good player, and I wouldn't be surprised if they would throw that Skarner into top lane. I think it's probably playable into the Ornn, and it allows for Yangu to get a better matchup in the jungle. I'll hold my breath on that one, but could see it coming.
Yeah, I mean, Skarner, a flex pick, always want to take advantage of that if you can. And yeah, UltraCAD, also a new player, I believe, for Syndicate's roster, just recently subbed in this week. So, don't have as much history on that player from what I've seen, but it sounds like you have an idea of what they like to play.
Yeah, no, I just know they're a good player. They're solid all around, can play tanks, can play carries. It's a good roster addition for sure. It should help Syndicate out. It can't help them not double ban Talia, but I don't know what that's all about.
Yeah. So now for the side of Akuma, we've got the Karma picked up. That's gonna, help the Jinx out a lot in the early game with that shielding, the move speed, and the poke to maybe, give Syndicate's bot lane make them think twice about going all in on those early levels. For the side of Syndicate, we've got the Aurora picked up. I know that's a pick both mid laners like to play. And actually, the Mbessa is going to be the answer. So, a lot of AD on the side of Akuma, but they do have the Lilia in the jungle, which, if you're not itemizing MR, she is going to destroy your health bar with that % health damage and the true damage as well.
Yeah.
And we've got Volibear versus Ornn in the top lane. So, two gods from Freljord, Clash of the Titans up there.
Nice. Yes. Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah. No. I'm surprised that these champs are going where they are. It's gonna get Mbessa mid. It's gonna end up being Skarner in the jungle against that Lilia. We'll see how this player Chris does, being the highest ranked in the game. I'm excited to watch. And yeah. I mean, these are good drafts all around. Cool stuff. I'm ready to see the game.
Yeah. I gotta agree. I mean. So for the side of Akuma, they have a lot of relatively short range champs, especially on their top side. That Renata ult might get a lot of value against, although Jinx is the only real big auto attacker there. So I do think it's a pick that can get a lot of value, but might be a little harder in the late game to pilot that than the Karma, which has, I think, a much simpler job of just keep Jinx alive.
Yeah, so we have Syndicate versus Akuma for the top lane, Ultra Cad, jungle, Yengu. The mid lane, Cordelia. And in the bot lane, Repent, who is probably a player to watch, maybe. And D Shot. On the other side, for Akuma, we have Seaboyer in the top lane, Chris in the jungle, Tate in the mid lane, Worm Food, AD carry, and Fujin. Fujin. Or, wait, this is a sub. Is it a sub? Name change? I don't know.
Not sure.
Justin?
But that's,
Justin?
Yeah, Justin is the.
Justin at support. All right. See, I'm wrong. I was reading the wrong player list, but yeah, cool. I like to introduce the players. I feel like I say the name once, and I might miss it later on.
Yeah, it's nice to get a little more, name recognition for these players who are, starting out, or maybe been here a while in these comp leagues, so we get to all be a little more familiar with them, know their story. We're seeing, Aurora offer a lot of early poke in the mid lane in this melee range versus melee matchup, but the Doran's shield gonna help out a lot with that for the side of Tate.
Guess who won draft? I'm gonna guess that Syndicate may have won draft. I don't know. I really like the Callista pick.
I think Syndicate has a draft that on paper I like a lot, but I do think it has a higher barrier of execution. They really need to get this bot lane accelerated and kind of make it hard for Lilia to farm up into the late game. If this game goes late, I do think Akuma is going to have the upper hand. It ultimately, always comes down to execution. On paper, I like Syndicate's draft. Just gonna have to see how it plays out. Because I think if they make a mistake, very even is what ProComp's draft score says. Yeah. And I think that makes sense because I think they both have clearly defined strengths. Clear win conditions. And it's gonna come down to how these teams can pilot their respective champions to see how that ultimately plays out.
Yeah, I just want to point out, man, like, Skarner's clear is, if not faster or keeping up with Lilia right now. Like, Lilia had to have, clear speed had to have gotten gutted, right? I think they nerfed maybe Q damage, and it just seems weak. But with that, I mean, Skarner's gonna come in here.
Yeah, early gank opportunity in the bot lane. Gonna see if he can wrap his way around the wall, but just gonna charge straight in. Doesn't get a lot of value. I think you really need to get through the wall to extend the range of that ability, but nothing too big committed, although that contest on the crab could be dangerous with that escape tool down.
Yeah, and Lilia's going to be level 4 because this Skarner did skip a camp, so it's going to be Yengu in some trouble. Has the escape through the wall. Instead, looking to go onto Wormfood, does miss the E, but the damage is there with the Callista, and here comes that Ren. Pop goes first blood for Repent on Callista.
Wormfood with both barrier and flash ups still going down. A little bit disjointed, I think, from the side of Akuma because Justin was not around to provide the shielding or the heal. So we're going to get a replay on that to see exactly how that went down.
That's a nice handshake from D-Shot, and then you can't escape Callista. I mean, maybe barrier flash right there at the end and you're out.
But the Callista could probably flash follow and still get the kill. That Rend offers a lot of backloaded damage that makes it really hard to judge when you're in execute range if you're not quite familiar with that champion. So, as the lane continues, having those sums is going to be nice. Wow.
Flash in the top lane. Seaboyer almost going down. And if you look at the CS leads that Cordelia and Ultra Cat have, I mean, these are massive. It's not looking good for Akuma right now. The solo lanes are very behind in these first 5 minutes, and bot lane, ADC's already dead.
Yeah, not a great start for them, but he is taking an aggressive trade. He has to flash the handshake though, and I mean this is playing exactly how Syndicate Bunnygirls want this early game to, with leads in every single lane right now. Which is what we maybe expect a little bit, but I do think the leads are larger than Akuma would like them to be right now. Going into these champions are going to be hitting level 6 and maybe looking to skirmish in the next few minutes. And I think with those leads they've acquired, this could definitely go in Syndicate Bunnygirls' favor.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I want to see if they're able to punish these flashes, right? Yengu really wants to play for bot, and I feel like he's going to continue to do so. So it's really kind of up to these solo laners for Syndicate to punish their own opponents. I mean, they have a flash advantage. Will they be able to find some solo kills? You're on stream. I'm ready to see it, and so is the world that's watching.
I think top is especially a lane that's going to be susceptible to a dive here. You know, that Ornn bought actually a Cull, so not that tanky yet, and level 6 is very valuable on this. Ooh.
Yeah, we have a little skirmish in the jungle. Yengu finding Chris, another flash, and here comes the Aurora ult between worlds, and will Cordelia be able to finish him off? It will. Second blood, 2 out of 3 for the feat. Picked up by that Aurora.
Nice job from Cordelia, hopping to the other side of that between worlds to get the last auto attack, secure the kill. You know, you want these carries to be getting the kills, and now Syndicate Bunnygirls mid and bot both have one, so that's going to accelerate them a lot, make it easier for them to keep pushing that lead, and making it hard for Akuma to play the game.
And Syndicate will be able to pick up the dragon here, and we'll see if Chris wants to do those grubs or if Syndicate's able to get both. They might have time to contest, but it looks like Chris is running straight to it.
Chris is running there, and it looks like Yengu is taking the reset, so those grubs will probably be given to Akuma. I think if they had vision of the Lilia, actually, UltraCAD is making their way down on the Volibear, but it looks like they're not going to fight this quite yet. You know, Cordelia doesn't have that ultimate on the Aurora, which is going to make the fight tougher, so Chris is going to at least grab one grub, maybe try to get a little more as UltraCAD could be in danger.
Ooh, a nice dodge by UltraCAD, but in some trouble. Has flash available. Chris gonna run down the bear, but not gonna find any kills here. But that pressure will secure all 3 grubs, it looks like. So it's just a normal dragon for grubs trade here on the Rift.
Justin moving up to those grubs also helps secure them, but that does mean that Wormfood under some pressure bot lane, getting forced under tower to farm. Not sure what the CS lead is looking like down there now, but you know, that's actually not too big. Only 5 CS behind, which is, you know, obviously you don't want that death that you have on the Jinx in the early game, but other than that, I think could be going a whole lot worse considering that this late game scaling carry was left alone for a little bit while Karma was going up for those grubs.
Yeah, I mean, that was an awkward recall Wormfood just took, but all in all, seems fine. Has the cull, will eventually pop for that money, and will be feeling all right. And then, yeah, like we're talking about, Akuma's going to scale, so it's up to Syndicate to really press their advantage. They have the 2-0 advantage. They have about a little bit over 1,000 gold lead, and they really need to find some turret plates and first tower, and maybe a dive. Pull off a dive would be nice.
Yeah, I was thinking that the up in the top lane, the Volibear might be a pressure point they could look to exploit with Ornn having no flash, but that is going to be coming back up soon, so that window is closing a little bit on that dive opportunity. I mean, they might be able to force anyway, because that Volibear ultimate is so strong at diving specifically.
Ooh, Tate going in for the all-in trade, but Cordelia is able to trade back and might be able to turn this around with the ultimate, and there you go, that's the 3rd kill. And feats of strength or kills or whatever it is, one of the 3 things.
Warfare, yeah.
We got it, yeah.
Feat of Warfare going in Syndicate Bunnygirls' favor, and I mean, that electrocute proc on Aurora did so much damage. When you pull back that Q, it does, I believe it's bonus damage based on missing health. So combine that with the burst from the electrocute, and yeah, I mean, Tate's health bar just melts instantly at the end of the play there. Yeah, I mean, you know, Mbessa, I think, is going to have a tough time in this matchup until maybe later, once you get that Eclipse and can kind of trade your health, or, you know, trade the shield from that Eclipse into the burst from the Aurora. But right now, the poke that Aurora can put out is sticking hard.
Yeah, unfortunately for Tate, it's just like Aurora's already has that kill advantage, the item advantage. Was going for what they thought might be an angle, but not quite yet. And yeah, it'll eventually, that Mbessa will scale, and Tate might be able to find that one-on-one kill later on. But just not yet.
Yeah, and we just got word that I think that Electrocute for Cordelia has done over 600 damage, and you know, we're only 10 minutes in. That rune, I think, is extremely strong right now. Just offers so much early game damage and scales up just fine too. So, you know, and Aurora is a champion that can proc it very easily. There's an Ornn ultimate going down in top.
Yeah, Call the Forge God comes out. This Ornn health bar is low, but the Volibear's health bar is lower. Yengu's here to maybe help out. The heal from UltraCAD keeps him alive, and Yengu will not be able to get the kill. A TP in from Tate, and now it's the Starner who is on the run, but I think it's just going to be nothing. So, we're just we're just hanging out up here. We're just having a good time.
Flash for flash traded in the top side, and I mean, it is good for this Ornn that he's able to find the advantage in what looked like a matchup that, you know, hadn't been going so well. I see now. It's actually
a greedy recall from UltraCAD, and then goes in for the fight, gets the shield, and then once that Call to Forge God comes out, gonna dodge it with the ulti. It's not bad, but about to fall here, flashes away, able to get that heal at the end, and maybe they have that kill if Yangu can Drift King that, but it ends up not being possible, and
yeah,
everybody gets away.
That pillar is a tiny target hit for the Skarner. Might have been possible, not really sure. But yeah, I mean, that Volibear is able to survive at such low health with that healing and shielding coming through, and you saw a nice little dodge with the ult. Not something you see every day, as it's a kind of a slow dash, but works out in the end, barely making it out of a tight situation. Now, Syndicate Bunnygirl is going to grab the grubs uncontested, so that's going to put the teams at 3-3. But Chris is down by the dragon, not going to go for it quite yet, though. Looks like there might actually be a play onto this Ballista. We'll see if that ends up happening, or if they call it off.
Yeah, Tate behind Repent right now. We haven't really seen much from the Callista since that first blood, but Yangu's doing a good job of accelerating top and mid, or helping out top and mid. The Syndicate does have this 3-0 lead, and maybe looking to contest this. Aurora has a good flank, but it is 3-on-4 until Skarner gets here. Cordelia walk out to me, ulted by Tate, and gets bursted down, falls asleep to the Lilia Lilting Lullaby, gets kept alive by Renata W, but will eventually fall. It's going to be a kill picked up for Akuma. Now Repent is in a bad spot. Able to kite it out. This dragon is still kicking. Yangu's on the way. Will be Akuma picking up the dragon, and Repent trying to maybe keep them interested. Get a fight ensues. D-shot with the ulti. And Repent is trying to DPS. The Skarner Impale does bring one forward, but it's not enough damage as Chris will take them all down. And it looks like Akuma will run them all down. D-shot the last man standing. Some resets for Worm Food and a bowling ball to finish off the Renata. That is a really, really rough throw in this 3-0 lead. Now 4 kills go over to Akuma.
That feels like just a little impatient from Cordelia, walking in, not knowing that Tate was in that bush, and the chain of ultimates just suppressing this Aurora. You know, very mobile champion, but if you get locked down for several seconds like that, you can't really dash around and use that stealth to your advantage. So yeah, I mean the Skarner just wasn't there yet, and they kind of take the 3v4 from an awkward angle, and that's now 4 kills onto Chris. This Lilia getting accelerated is exactly what Akuma needs to come back from what was looking like a rough early game, but now they're in the lead just a little bit, you know, 200 gold, but they've got even dragons, even grubs, and I think they'll be pretty happy with that.
Top laner's low again. UltraCAD about to go down, has one last heal, and it will be in favor of this Volibear champion. Oh, how broken is that? As UltraCAD will come up with the solo.
Yeah, that auto attack range looks so big at the end of this. Claws reaching from far away to grab that last hit onto Seaboyer. And I mean, that, you know, that spacing is so important on Volibear to keep the damage coming out, keep the healing, even after getting CC'd by that Ornn knockup. But it's close. I mean, Seaboyer is fighting back very nicely in what feels like a, you know, a matchup that should be pretty tough for the Ornn, because Volibear is really strong in these extended fights. And I think Ornn wants to play a little more around the team fights.
Yeah, wow, it seems it starts off, this is a replay, UltraCAD is so low, but once this fight, again, has that shield, Call the Forge God comes in, dodges it with the ultimate, and, you know, we saw this endpoint, UltraCAD's about to go down, will heal one last time from the Grass Proc and the W, and is able to win that to finish off Seaboyer.
That is the second time we've seen an incredibly close 1v1 between these two top laners, and you know, I don't know if it's genius or insanity from UltraCAD to keep living on these slivers of health, but it is cool to see.
Yeah, he definitely plays right on that threshold of about to die, and seemingly does it really well. And you know, Volibear like kind of falls off a little bit after like the first couple early levels. Once that Roa hits and the next couple items come through, this Volibear is going to be a problem, but I mean, once some of these items come through for Tate, it's going to be a problem in the mid lane as Tate goes under turret with the ulti and finds the solo kill on Cordelia. Wow.
Yeah, that max range ult. didn't look like it was going to hit to me, to be honest. I don't know if Cordelia expected it to either, but that is a great solo kill from Tate. And yeah, now that the Eclipse is in, I mean, that matchup is a lot easier for this Ambessa to manage.
Yeah, it's just a lot harder to space it. I mean, if you're not used to playing against Ambessa, you have to realize it's kind of like Kalista. As all those dashes, you need to stay pretty far back, and you can't, as Aurora, you can't allow yourself to be caught in a situation where you don't have W, and you're right on top of that Ambessa.
Now we've got Rift Herald spawning up, and a lot of movement from the side of Syndicate, as Repent's caught out in the mid lane, but
yeah.
Some space.
Yeah, Repent's going down here for sure. Maybe Yengu comes in, kind of scares them all away, and Repent just barely lives. I'm not sure what Repent was doing there. This is going to be bad for just map pressure overall. However, maybe Akuma is spending a little bit too many resources as Seaboy or TP's in, and Cordelia is just farming bot. So
if Cordelia can pressure this bot turret, that's going to be good for the side of Syndicate. Not sure if it's gotten low from the pressure that they were putting down early game with the Kalista, but I mean, whoever gets either this next objective or the first turret is going to secure those feats of strength. And now we've got some scrapping down in the bottom lane.
Yeah, I mean, now that Tate TP'd in, though, there's no TP on no TP on Ambessa to get to this Rift Herald, but Aurora can TP. So this could be Syndicate's objective, and that means it could be their feats of strength.
But Ultra Cat is also moving down bot here. Looks like they might want to make a play onto Tate and try to take the first turret off of that. But they could just give up the first turret to the top side, as Seaboyer's pushing in a wave right now, and Akuma has a lot of presence in that area.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the play is here, but Cordelia is looking for the all-in. Gets a lot of damage set up for Ultra Cat, who will flash in. And Cordelia will finish off Tate, and they're both going to look on this turret as Yengu possibly saves top. No, the minions will take the top
minions
turret.
Take it down. Wow. I mean, you know, I was going to say that maybe Seaboy should have stayed to try to secure that, but I guess it was all expertly planned out, because those last, like, 2 ranged minions give the autos that they need to finish that turret off.
They never took the Herald.
Oh, wait. Yeah, no, never mind. I misspoke. Syndicate Bunnygirls already has the kills, so Akuma's also going to need to get an objective. And actually, it's going to be a race between Syndicate Bunnygirls and Akuma to get either the Herald or the Dragon down on the bot side. But I think this Herald will drop first. So ultimately, it's Syndicate Bunnygirls walking away with the feats of strength, but it's just by a matter of seconds.
I thought Akuma took Herald. They just got off of it and left.
Yeah, I was expecting them to as well. But I guess Syndicate Bunnygirls put up enough pressure. You know, Akuma maybe didn't see Ultra Cod walking down bot until it was too late for Tate. And
maybe they backed off because of the TP disadvantage, and maybe it was all just big chess play moves. You know, some big moves, some big brain stuff from Syndicate, and it works out.
Ends up working out in their favor. I mean, you know, pretty neutral trade overall, but those feats of strength are going to help out. Ultra Cod taking a fight under the turret.
Yeah, somehow sort of winning, and I honestly think they can win. Okay, well, they can't win if they do that. The ultimate was not available for Volibear, so that will ruin your chances of winning when you go for a turret dive for sure. Tate with another solo kill.
Bold to look for the 1v1 play, and especially bold to go back in, you know, after already taking a couple turret shots when the wave is dead. So, you know, again, the question, is it genius or is it insanity? I don't know. You've seen maybe a little bit of both out of this Volibear this game.
That was a "what are we doing" kind of moment. Like, I don't know. There's a lot going on there. Yeah, insanity. Yeah, insanity. I like insanity.
Tate gets a nice shutdown. You know, that Ambessa is going to be picking up a little more gold, getting to close to that second item spike. And actually in the mid lane, Cordelia is already on 2 items, up a lot of farm, you know, been able to kind of abuse this range versus melee matchup, and making a lot of good moves around the map to pick up farm wherever possible. Which is, you know, so important to stay relevant as you get into this mid game when people are moving around the map a lot more.
Yeah, you can see that because of the Lilia Chris picking up those kills, the CS gap in the jungle has kind of been accelerated. I mean, Chris is just farming up a storm, up 60 CS on Yengu, and as we talk about that, look at this play bot lane. Yengu coming in to save the day. Seaboyer might be caught out as it's a 3-on-1 scenario for this Ornn. Who's going to pick up the kill? It's Ultra Cat with the Volibear E storm thing. I don't know what those things are called, but it does a lot of damage.
It does a lot of damage, and it's nice to pick up that kill on a solo laner. You know, I think this Volibear split push is potentially going to be a big win condition for the side of Syndicate. And ooh, nice footwork by Cordelia to dodge that ultimate from the Ornn. I feel like we've seen a lot of creative dodges on that ability this game.
That might have been a one-shot Ornn combo if everything landed, so I'm not super mad at Seaboyer for going for it. However, once you're that deep, it's kind of over, and well played by Syndicate for, or I guess, following up and bailing out their teammate.
Indeed, but there wasn't a lot they could get off it. There wasn't a dragon down there, and that first turret had already been taken. So I think Tate actually got a lot of damage onto that top inner turret, which is, you know, a lot of standing gold waiting to be unlocked if they're able to keep pressure up in that top side.
More from this Kalista. Blade of the Rune King finish, has another recurve bow. Luckily for Syndicate, even though they've had some throws, they pick up feeds, and they haven't given any kills over to the Jinx. But now D-Shot might be in some trouble as the Ornn is going in. Repent's just going to pull him out. So, yeah, I mean, they get the Kalista ult out before maybe this dragon fight coming up in a minute 30.
And the Renata flash is down too, which is really important for, you know, enabling that champion to play aggressive. They even look for the ult flash play. If you can hit that on a whole team, you know, that's going to set up the rest of the team beautifully. But now that's down, and we'll make taking the fights a lot scarier for D-Shot on this Renata. No way out if you do get caught at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you probably agree with me, because this is usually how games go. Either Jinx gets a bunch of kills and starts to become a problem, or we see a 2-item Kalista just start to pop off. I mean, which way do you think it's going to go? Do you think this Kalista is going to be a non-factor, or do you think Repent's going to have some showtime here coming up?
I feel like we're getting close to the point where the Kalista might have a tough time playing these fights. You know, you've got the Fed Lilia on 3 items now. You've got a lot of threat from the Ambessa as well. And so, yeah, I don't know. I definitely feel like I wanted to see a little bit more out of the Kalista in the early game, and it didn't really happen, and I'm worried that window is closing. But, I mean, the champion has a very high skill cap, and we could totally see Repent pop off at any moment, especially with a fight coming up for this dragon.
Yeah, I did like what Repent was kind of trying to do in that last, the dragon fight that didn't go well for them, where they got 4-0'd, but Repent looked comfortable on the champion. There were some good moves. And I don't know. Hopefully we'll see something here. I mean, this would be the moment, as I think Repent got a back off and maybe got a second item.
They dropped the Herald in mid, and it looks like Repent is actually just going to charge this into the mid lane turret, and that's going to get Akuma to back off of the dragon as well, which means Syndicate Bunnygirls might be able to pressure 3 objectives at the same time, actually, with UltraCAD still pressuring top. Now they're going to go for the dragon, and they got the mid turret. I mean, that's a huge swing of gold, but they are going to give up their own mid turret, it seems like. So interesting movements around the map from both sides. But I think they'll be, you know, plenty happy to go up the dragon, and I think they got the top turret as well. Yeah, and we might see a fight here as Cordelia's going in with the ultimate, and it's like 5-on-3 except for Seaboyer showing up. Where is UltraCAD? You see Kalista Repent on the back line going in, looking for the kill on Wormfood, and that's 1 ADC down. That's the ulti take goes in. Is Repent going to go down? I don't know if the Renata W is available. Repent is kiting it out. Tate, you're about to go down top with the Rend, and Chris is probably eventually going to finish off this Kalista, as I thought this was a winning fight for Akuma all along. But now Yengu is here at full HP with D-Shot to help out. Meanwhile, here's a replay of the whole fight, because maybe not. Back to live. Chris will go down to a final auto from D-Shot, and Yengu and D-Shot will 1v2 Seaboyer on the Ornn, and then Seaboyer will pick up the Renata kill and walk away. Yeah, a replay would be good. I don't even know what happened to that Volibear. I think Volibear was in just a little early, it looked like, from the mini-map, but I mean, all in all, this is a 4 for 4, it looked like, and yeah, UltraCAD goes in, but Chris gonna put some damage on some burn with the Wormfood autos, and Jinx gets that reset, but Repent is just going in with the Renata ulti on the backline, and that's how they get those 2 kills, and the Kalista ulti as well, as D-Shot hits that knockup on Chris, but Tate able to get Repent down super low, but unable to finish him off. Look at the kiting, look at the moves, look at the jumps. Pop
another Ren, but yes, Repent, you will eventually go down being caught in that Baron pit. But it's pretty even fight all around. I don't know where Yangu was in this. The starter, maybe still finishing off the dragon, yes. It would have been useful. But
very
even game, very even game,
very long ascended even fight. But I loved getting to see Repent with the fancy footwork there, hopping over the wall, kiting out that Mbessa. Looked at it a little rough at first because I think that was actually a Kalista dash into the ult from the Mbessa, but turns it around. Yeah, super cool to see. 3-2-1 now on the Kalista. Got a decent lead over the Jinx. We'll see who can hit their third item first. Looks like it might be a Wit's End picked up for Repent actually to help mitigate some of this damage coming out from Chris on the Lilia, who's very strong now.
Yeah, I think 4 kills in that fight were picked up for the bot lane of Syndicate, and the only reason all that happened, by the way, is because Ultracat actually solo killed Tate top lane, so Akuma had to back off the dragon. They ended up getting the mid turret, but Volibear was pushing top, they got collapsed on, blah blah, that whole fight ensues, and it goes pretty even. But now we're coming up 2 minutes from the next dragon, and this puts either team on soul point. So this is probably a very important big fight coming up, and we do see a Call of Forge God being used in the top lane, as Cordelia will escape, and possibly a fight here. Yangu looking to go in. We'll get that slow onto Justin, but is it Justin? I can't even read the names. Justin, it's an E, right?
Yeah. Justin, yeah.
sorry. But nothing will happen. Nothing yet.
They blow the Karma Flash, though, which, again, always scarier for these supports to play when they're down Flash and there's a lot of lockdown on the enemy side. You're usually a little lower in levels, a little less tanky from those items, so an easier pick if the enemy does get you while you're warding. Yeah, we saw 2 big ultimates committed, the Call of Forge God and the Super Mega Death Rocket up top.
Wow. Drowsy Lilting Lullaby being used on the Renata, but it's gonna be countered with the Kalista ult, and now they're kind of ultless, and Repent's going in, but flashing out as the TP comes in, and Seaboard is on the flank. Now Yangu tanking, which tanks should do, but Tate finds the ultimate onto Repent, diving the backline. Repent goes down to the Renata W. Will he have the Ren? No, they both pick and die at the same time. It's a 1-for-1. It's 2-for-1 as Yangu did eventually fall. Ultracat comes in on the flank. A lot of damage from this Volibear, but they will pop and take him down and take Cordelia down as well. They might be able to get the ace as they are diving tower. Worm Food, the Jinx, not picking up the kills, but helping out is Chris with the double kill as Akuma takes tier 2 mid and more.
Massive team fight for Akuma, going 5-for-1, and I mean, I think Syndicate Bunnygirls, the fight wasn't going great for them, but they probably could have taken the loss and managed to hold the next few turrets. Jinx is pushing hard, but I think the death timers are short enough that they're going to back off. We'll see if they go for this Otacon or the Dragon. The health bars are pretty low, so those major objectives are going to be pretty dangerous, and they are going to choose to back off. But Wormfood's actually maybe a little late on the recall, maybe trying to get, one last jungle camp to buy an item spike or something here. So both teams will be alive, I think, for this dragon fight, but several ults down, especially for the side of Syndicate Bunnygirls. Most of those have come back for the side of Akuma. Yeah, won that fight while down the Ornal, which is really big for them.
Yeah. No, these fights are super chaotic, and they're very, very even until they're not. I mean, that ended up being just like a complete wipe in favor of Akuma, but maybe they get caught here as Ultracad's on a flank and Yangu's trying to go in. A nice 3 or 4-man ulti from Cordelia to start off, but Call the Forge God comes in. Repent is unable to play the game as they go into the Lilting Lullaby. They're in the Drowsy, but no, they're nice hop away and kite, but Chris will eventually take him down, and it does not matter. As soon as the Volibear goes down, as soon as the Aurora goes down, the Jinx resets start, and now Wormfood finally picks up the kills, and this Jinx with the upgraded Infinity Edge from the Ornn is going to end the game. Didn't even really have to scale. One fight, and it's over.
Yeah, one good fight. I mean, and Jinx just gets to go crazy. It's tough when you've got. I think there's just been a little bit of a disconnect on some of these fights from the side of Syndicate Bunnygirls, as the last member is gonna fall, Nexus turrets are gonna fall, and Nexus soon to follow.
Yeah, game 1 going over to Akuma Shurikens with a very fed Lilia. Chris and very well played from everyone else. I really like Tate, you know, suffered a little bit early, had an unfortunate attempt for a 1v1 that did not go in their favor, but then able to find a ton of ultimates.
Yeah, it was very close the whole time until, you know, those few team fights, but it always looked like Syndicate Bunnygirls could win. They might have a good start to the fight, but it just felt like they were maybe overstepping a little bit, overplaying their hand, you know, rushing into things and just falling short. And once, if you give over that first kill to the Jinx, she is unstoppable. You know, that move speed, that attack speed, just so difficult to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it. We wanted to see more out of Kalista early, you know, a few throws, and then it's kind of unwinnable. You get super outscaled. Ornn, Jinx, Lilia, all those champions scale really well, even Amessa. I mean, it just gets harder and harder, and it was well fought by Syndicate, but once they got in that position, it was Akuma's game, and they took it. I guess we'll be back soon with game number 2.
Indeed.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Ay, coming down like precipitation. I ain't never met a limitation. Hate plotting my elimination. Gotta go to Google for the information. I'm a superstar, so I gotta shine. Top dollar be the bottom line. Bottom feeding niggas out of line. Turn your heart rate to a dotted line. Yeah, my zodiac probably dollar sign. Got the energy to win it, my nigga, I'm feeling great. Got a day with destiny, focusing on my fate. I don't give a fuck what you rap.
I don't know what to do when we come back. No, welcome back, everybody. I got weirded out by seeing my face just like, you know, like, I don't know. But we're back. All right, game 2 coming up. We have Akuma taking game 1 versus Syndicate. This is Conqueror. It is not Fearless Draft, so all those champions will still be available. A meta shift with Freedom Potatoes, who was MVP of game 1. Is that where we start? I don't know.
Yeah, we can start with an MVP. I mean, that's kind of tricky to say. I mean, I think probably got to be Chris on the Lilia, finding those 4 kills in that team fight by Dragon. I mean, that accelerated that champion immensely. Kind of ran away with the game after that. Was able to pick up a whole lot more kills. You know, perform exactly how you want a Lilia to in a team fight. Stick on that Kalista, even though she's so mobile, and help Jinx get those resets. So yeah, that would be my pick.
I mean, if it's not Chris, maybe it's Tate. I really like seeing Ambessa hit ulti. I don't know how many times I've seen Ambessa miss ulti, and I'm like, oh, that never lands. Tate proved that it does land sometimes, at least 4 times. I think I saw really good Ambessa ultis, and not a lot of nice solo kills for Akuma's mid laner. But yeah, I mean, both these teams, they're 1-4. They really need to win this if they want a chance at playoffs. So we're coming up on, I think, these last couple weeks here. They need these wins. They need this win tonight. Can Syndicate fight back, or is Akuma going to take it here as a 2-0?
I think it's got a chance. You know, we saw a lot of good plays from them. We saw them build a bit of a lead in the early game. It just wasn't quite enough, I think, to bring it home. And you know, a few moments of maybe impatience that dragged them down in the end. But we're here with game number 2's draft, and we'll see if they keep the same game plan overall or switch things up. That Varus already taken off the table. Seems to be an iconic pick for the side of Syndicate that Akuma does not want to see.
So I guess they did switch sides. Akuma will be on blue, Syndicate on red. And yeah, I mean, the only thing I would expect is maybe that Lilia ban, maybe an Ambessa ban or Steel could be added in for Syndicate to better their chances.
Wouldn't be surprised to see at least one of those get banned away. I mean, again, those were big picks in the last game, but I also feel like the Akuma mid jungle, from looking at their match history, seems to be pretty solid, and they might be able to put up similar performances on other picks. So, you know, it's not always just the champion that decides how things go. But I think so far all the bans are the same. Okay, now Syndicate has banned away the Ahri. That's something that Tate does like to play. Another high mobility champion that can really set up a lot of plays while staying very safe. So, you know, kind of a staple pick for both mid laners. And Akuma's gonna run back the Jinx. You know, had a bit of a rough early game, giving over first blood last time, but as we saw in the late game team fights, offers a lot of DPS if you can get that opening kill.
Yeah, one thing I want to say, and this is a tip for all teams out there, if you think that the jungler might be the best player on the enemy team, or your jungler is the weakest in that matchup or whatever, it's okay to counter pick jungle. You don't have to pick jungle first. So I want to see Yengu go for a counter pick here, but it looks like we're blinding Viego.
That's an interesting pick, you know. I mean, now both teams really want to get that opening kill, get that reset going for these respective carries, and it's answered by a Kayn, who, you know, typically has more of a quick clear speed, can power farm up, and potentially become a very strong, you know, either assassin or frontline tank, depending on how the rest of the comp shakes out. Also seeing a Seraphine picked by Syndicate Bunnygirls. I think that's been kind of more so forced down to support, not as much of like a carry pick, but we'll see. And actually, okay, so it might be AD carry, like a carry Seraphine bot or a mid pick because they have grabbed the Rel now. Both teams opting for some hefty engage in the bot side. I think Nautilus typically performs pretty well into Rel, unless I'm mistaken. He can kind of grab her out of that Ferromancy crash down.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, Nautilus does have a shield, and she can break that shield, and that's kind of like his sustain in the lane, right? I don't think it's a bad matchup for Rel, but I like the Nautilus pick simply for the fact that you have a Viego reset champ and you have the Seraphine on the other team, so stealing something like Nautilus like that to allow, I guess, you to get that first reset. Nautilus is great for being like, we're getting this one kill right away, or, something like that. He's a great pick tool. I do like the Rel response, though. I think it works well with their team comp. Don't know what the hell, don't know what that is. We should not be picking Nefiri.
Wow.
But,
yeah, I feel like that Nefiri might struggle into Nautilus if he's able to be a frontline. He has easy access to that route right out of the dash, and also can potentially hook Nefiri out of the dash if he times it well. So yeah, that's a champion that might struggle into the front line that Akuma has picked, but it does do a lot of damage. I'm interested to see how that plays out. I think that little rework hasn't come through yet. I know that's like, I think on PBE where they're switching the R and the W.
Switching the R and the W. I heard about that. I saw a little video on it. That looks awesome, and I'm going to play a ton of Nefiri afterwards.
Ooh, and the Gwen is going to be the last pick on the side of Syndicate Bunnygirls. So 2 AP top laners, both offering a lot of DPS. Mordekaiser with the MR, percent pen from the E, and Gwen just having the true damage built in. And we're seeing Talia as an answer to the Nefiri in the mid lane, which she can throw down those rocks.
I do like the Gwen pick. I think the Gwen pick's huge here for an R5. I think it really helps Syndicate possibly win this game, but Nefiri is like seemingly so unplayable into Talia. I don't know if that's good at all. There's AoE off of the Q rock throw that can bounce off the dogs and hit Nefiri. There's just the interrupting of Nefiri's W, and Nefiri really can't even use the W without getting stunned. So very hard matchup for Cordelia to play. And I think Talia was banned last draft, so Tate is going to be on this comfort pick. And another fun fact is Wukong may be Chris's most played, and Chris was our Game 1 MVP, but Kayn is their most mastery. So I do expect another big performance from Chris here in Game 2.
I think it's going to be kind of a similar story where like they want to shut down that Kayn early. If he takes a long time to get to form and start hitting those items, that champion can end up feeling pretty weak. But if he does get that transform again, it looks like it's probably going to be a red Kayn just based on how many melee champions the other team has and how Kayn likes to kind of usually just take the first form available. But we'll see. It's 1 million mastery points on this Kayn, so definitely an experienced player who should be able to, probably knows more than I do about how that's going to go down, to be honest.
All right, well, before we go on to game number 2, I think we have a Kiss, Marry, Kill. This time, Metashift did not have to pick out of all dudes. I finally got some beautiful women here to choose from, and I chose to kiss Kai'Sa. I think Kai'Sa is hopefully of age, one of the more attractive champions, and even in that skin is a beautiful woman. But I'm marrying Qiyana and I'm killing Lissandra. What about you, Freedom Potatoes? What's the moves?
From my perspective, anyone you marry into here, you're getting fabulous wealth. I mean, Kai'Sa's got some sort of jade thing going on, I think. Qiyana, obviously an empress, and Lissandra's got all of that porcelain. In my case, I opted to get, the life of an empress seems very stressful. Marrying into royalty, you could become an assassination target or something like that. Didn't really want to deal with the stress, but I do think Qiyana is pretty, so I put my kiss there. Now, with Lissandra, she gives off a very, intimidating, posh vibe, and so I thought cold-blooded murder seemed much easier than learning some etiquette. And finally, giving my Marry over to Kai'Sa, I just think that's a great-looking skin overall.
Beautiful. I love it.
Okay. Game number 2. Champions running out of fountain here. We'll see if anyone opts to go for an invade here, but it seems like they're mostly going to be spreading out across the map, just watching those jungle entrances. I think both teams have, like, you know, kill threat on a level 1 if anyone walks into the opposing support. And you don't really want to give those resets over to Jinx or Viego in a level 1 fight. So seems like they're just going to, you know, play it safe and maybe try to establish a little vision.
I would have to agree. I think a level 1 fight could be very detrimental to both sides. Akuma may be looking for some early vision. This is the Akuma Shurikens 1-0 lead over Syndicate Bunnygirls? Question mark. Both teams looking to get this win and hopefully clinch a spot or just barely make it in for playoffs or qualifiers. I don't know what this league has. I think it just goes straight to playoffs. So they gotta fight. And thank you for that reset on beats. I was gonna say that, but we got it. Good job, team. Go team.
So Syndicate Bunnygirls, yeah, kind of backs against the wall as far as, you know, playoff hopes here. You're gonna have to win the next 2 games to keep that dream alive, and yeah, maybe even hope that some specific matchups elsewhere in the group go favorably for them. And they got an interesting bot lane this time around. Not as early game damage oriented. Instead of kind of going to be, you know, scaling up, enabling the rest of the carries on the team, because that top side has a lot of DPS, a lot of bursts, and Seraphine really likes playing with those melee carries that they have up there.
Justin just hiding here in the bushes. There might be a level 2 advantage here for Jinx and Nautilus, as Justin can walk up here, but they're gonna both hit 2, but it's gonna be a hook onto the Seraphine. Repent going down super low. This could be a kill. Flashing away is Repent. One more rocket. Can Wormfood find it? No, the movement speed was there, and the health pots to keep Repent alive, but a very, very good level 2 all-in from Wormfood and Justin.
Repent narrowly living, but I want to note that Wormfood did actually use the flash, so both of those bot lane carries are going to be down that summoner spell, and Repent has TP to get right back to lane and catch the last bits of that wave that was missed.
Oh, we do have a gank mid. Yangu gets a stun on Tate, and Cordelia almost has the damage to finish him off, but nope. Tate will just barely survive. But a nice good gank. The pressure's good. No flash blown.
Surprised that Tate held the flash, honestly. I mean, that was probably 1 auto away from death, but, you know, Yangu doesn't want to trade 1-for-1 there and get the Talia an extra kill. You know, early kill could mean, you know, you get the Tiara plus boots or something that makes this Talia's life a little easier in the early game. He does get Tiara anyway off of that reset, but yeah, just, you know, good discipline to hold the flash even when it was looking scary, I guess.
Yeah, what's crazy is kind of like all the things you pointed at with the TP back. Repent's fine, like perfectly okay. CS was barely lost, and now kind of has the advantage in the lane. 2 health pots over 0. Wormfood takes any poke, and this lane starts to get south. UltraCat here, going for the all-in on Seaboard. Chris is here. Can UltraCat get the kill? Yes. And now, can they escape? Or can they turn it around? It looks like escape might have been the correct call, but Chris will get that kill. First blood picked up by UltraCat. Avenge kill picked up by Chris on the Kane.
Chris is going to be happy to get that kill, you know, get some orbs, get it accelerated on this pick that wants to get there. But, I mean, same could be said for UltraCat, who gets first blood in the 1v2 on Gwen. Very nicely done. And wow, look at the damage coming out of the Nefuria, hitting both of those daggers, you know, getting the electrocute proc, or I guess they're called, darkened daggers. So we're going to get a replay in the top side.
Yeah, and Seabor kind of does a good job of landing that damage, flashing away, but still in range of the Gwen E-dash, and Ghost probably helps out a little bit. I guess it's just the Ghost on the Gwen, right? Ghost TP. So, really important to note that Gwen did not have flash, but was still able to keep up and get that kill.
Yeah, Gwen has a lot more mobility than Mordekaiser, and with the Ghost can stick on him pretty well. You know, we saw a really nice juke on the Kane Q as well from UltraCat, but, you know, Chris following with the flash ultimately gets the kill. But that's still 2 summoners blown. I think that is a great start to the game from UltraCat.
Yeah, no, it's good. Like I said, or like you said, the Kane getting that kill is super nice. And I don't know if Chris just takes over the game again. I guess that wasn't worth. You know, I think UltraCat probably wanted to maybe get out of that and not stay in that fight, if possible. But with the wave crashed here, things are looking great for UltraCat in the top lane, and we might see even more kills coming this Gwen's way. Has a Fiendish Codex, some early cooldown reduction, and magic damage will definitely help. As soon as this Gwen hits 6, I really expect that all in. I had a hiccup, that was crazy. Where did that
I think,
come from?
yeah, the Gwen likes the level 6 in this matchup a lot more than the Mordekaiser does. Even with the ultimate, I feel like, you know, that's the classic, I'm not trapped in here with you, you're trapped in here with me. So it's, yeah, Gwen pretty happy, should be able to extend this lead. We'll see if these teams can converge on either of these objectives. With Void Grubs just spawning, it's going to be the Kane moving in. All in.
There it is. Here's that all in. I expected it. Seaboard walks up for the CS. Chris is here. But with that last snip, the damage wasn't quite there, but another skip and slash, and UltraCat finds the kill, and guess who's there to avenge it? It's Chris. 2-0 on the Kane. Wave state, not bad for the Mordekaiser.
Has the flash. Ooh. Not quite landing it.
And does not have the Heartbreaker because they are still level 5. Chris will escape, but we do have a Rel dismount in mid. Can Cordelia get the kill? No. Ignite taken, but the damage is definitely not there.
Tate's very low now, and I mean that could be important for getting pressure down on this, on these grubs or the dragon, whatever is next up in this game. And yeah, Cordelia been able to get actually a pretty solid upper hand in this early matchup for what we predicted would be a pretty hard time for the Fury. I mean, yeah. I think a lot of the, you know, how you want to play this with the Talia, you need to be quite patient with those rocks, really hold it for when the Nefiri is committing to that all-in. Because I think we've seen a few times where the Nefiri is actually able to dash in and the rocks either weren't up or were used maybe a little late. And that leads to Talia getting chunked and having to seed pressure in the lane. So it's going to be a trade of grubs for Dragon, Cloud Drake going over the side of Akuma, and Syndicate Bunnygirls getting the grubs. I think they're going to be reasonably happy with that. Gwen is a huge split push threat this game, and if they can keep stacking those grubs up, it's going to be pretty nice for UltraCat on that top side.
Yeah, next kill is the piece of Warfare, if that's the kill zone, right?
And Chris is down here on the bot side.
Yeah, and the hook lands on Repent, but Flash available, but it doesn't matter, as the damage is there for the Jinx, Super Mega Death Rockets, and that will be that third kill. However, UltraCat also killing Seaboyer yet again in the top side. That's an 0-3 Mordekaiser's very, 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 very much struggling to match the Gwen. Wormfood and Jessen might be able to pick up another kill on the Jinx. No D-Shot will be able to get out, and a TP in from Repent to end this play.
So that feat of Warfare is very nice for Akuma to pick up, because I do think first tower I kind of foresee going the way of Syndicate Bunnygirls now that UltraCat is up those 3 kills in this top lane matchup. You know, that and the grubs, so that might follow, but you know, things could go a different way, and we'll see who's able to grab those objectives. But I think that, yeah, those 3 kills just barely coming through first for the side of Akuma, going to be a nice little insurance policy, giving them a little more time before they really have to sweat those other 2 feats.
Yeah, I keep like, oh, Chris getting kills is bad. I forgot the Gwen is like the win con for Syndicate as well. So both win cons are kind of getting kills in my mind. I mean, if this Kane gets ahead, it's definitely a huge win con for Akuma. Where if the Gwen is ahead, which they are very, very ahead, I think UltraCat can be that win con for Syndicate. And I mean, who is going to match this Gwen split push? And they're gonna have to really really play around that as a team, and I think it's gonna be very, very difficult.
I agree, because, you know, yes, Chris is getting strong, but I think in the 1v1, whether that Kane goes blue or red, I feel like that's winning for Gwen either way. You know, I think this is maybe a case where the Kane can kind of beat up on the rest of Syndicate Bunnygirls team, but if they have a strong split pusher, we saw that in the last game, Akuma kind of had to panic when they had that volley there, hitting on the side lane, you know, getting a solo kill and pressuring that tier 2 turret. That really disrupted their whole game plan a little bit. So if UltraCat is able to keep this lead going, I think that'll be tough for Akuma to manage.
Yeah, not much has happened in the past bit besides, you know, the little skirmishing bot lane, but since then, game's been very slow. Both teams farming it up. It is a little less than a 1K lead for Syndicate. And I guess second grubs will be spawning soon, but we do have the gank finally in mid, some action. Cordelia is going to get that kill as they easily burst Tate. Follow-up here is Justin trying to set up for the Super Mega Death Rocket, but Cordelia will get away, D-Shot will get away, Yengu will go back to farming.
Justin's keeping the play going for a while. They will get some prio in the mid lane, and with Cordelia low, they still might be able to, you know, set up something in the river, but here we see a replay of how this went down.
Yeah, Tate, I guess you could say a little overextended in mid with no vision, but pretty close to their turret, but it did not matter as Yengu, a really well executed gank there from support jungle of Syndicate. I really like that. You can even see the Viego showing up, popped up.
Yeah, I think, you know, maybe a little late on the Unraveled Earth from Tate there. Probably want to throw that down, just make sure, you know, no Viego W can come through, no Rel jump can come through, but instead seems to try to hold it for, you know, a little more peel after getting jumped on, but with the CC coming through, that doesn't work out, and it's another kill over to the side of Syndicate Bunnygirls.
I do want to say, first items coming in for both junglers and both top laners. Surprisingly, I mean, Rylai's is very cheap, but Mordekaiser will pick up the Rylai's already. Both junglers have their first item, and the Riftmaker for UltraCAD. I think the Riftmaker is going to be... I mean, the Gwen's still going to win, right? Don't let Rylai's just pull you. It's not doing anything.
Yeah.
But
I think this is one matchup where that item doesn't get as much value as it normally does for the Mordekaiser, but Akuma's going to grab one grub so far. We'll see if they get any more.
UltraCAD in the 1v1 top side. Snip onto Seaboard, but Seaboard is actually winning this fight for now until it finally looks like it turns around to the healing. But no, a flash Q mace from Seaboard will finish him off, and then on the other side we do have the Rel dismount engage as Chris goes inside of Yengu, gets the kill, and it's Cordelia and D-Shot on the run. Weaver's wall to follow up. Cordelia's in some trouble as Tate will take him down and has the flip to take D-Shot down as well. Yes, a double kill for Chris, and it is once again just a 4-0 for Akuma. Absolute detrimental team play.
I don't know how they keep finding these. I'm so surprised that UltraCAD lost this. Might have face checked the bush that Seaboyer was in and taken a fat chunk of damage at the start of the fight, because I don't think Gwen should be losing this if the fight starts on even footing. But a great flash Q obliterates that Gwen.
Yeah, I mean, the Jinx Rocket helped out. Look at the little extra damage there. And Chris just last second getting inside of, I guess, Viego with the Umbral Trespass. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of end from there when the Kayn doesn't die.
I think that Jinx Rocket is so crucial to the fight, because if Viego, you know, if Viego lives a little bit longer, there's probably going to be a reset coming through, and I think that completely changes the course of the fight. That could easily be, you know, at least like a 3-for-1 or something in the other direction. And I think it might have had TP available and maybe could have joined that fight. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what it looked like to me in the replay, and that, you know, might be kicking themselves a little bit if that was an opportunity. If that's an opportunity they missed.
Yeah.
So now that's gonna be the second dragon over to the side of Akuma. I think we might have been in replay while they were doing grubs. Did they get all of those as well? It doesn't look like they have.
2 to 4.
Oh, 2 to 4. Oh, okay. So Syndicate got one of those grubs away, which means the feat of Monster Slaying is still on the table. Another fight's breaking out down bot side.
Yeah, Justin with the hook in, but now in some trouble. Cordelia's gonna burst this Nautilus, but a nice ulti and encore from Repent actually turns this fight in a massive favor. But here's Chris coming out of the Umbral Trespass doing a ton of damage. But no, it's a reset for Yengu, who's gonna go flashing in, not gonna land it, as Wormfood does have a reset, and this Jinx is putting out so much damage with the help of the rocks from Tate. And they are turning this fight around. Tate running down Repent. Wormfood finishing him off with one more rocket. Noah flash from Repent to stay alive. I think the fight ends up being a 2-for-2 overall, or maybe a 2-for-1.
1-for-1, but UltraCAD got a solo kill on the top side, and that's also first turret going down. So, you know, I mean, we saw there, that's the flip side of how those fights can go. The Viego gets to reset, and it almost is a disaster for Akuma, but I think, you know, they have the flashes. Jinx was able to nicely dodge away from that W, from the stolen Kane W, and in the end survive and keep pumping that damage out. Nice use of the bonus move speed from the passive there.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big encore from Repent, and a big play by Syndicate, but definitely really well played by Tate and Wormfood to kind of keep it even. But as even as they could, like you said, first turret goes over to Syndicate. That's one of our feats, and I guess we're one objective away for Akuma to get that feat, and then Syndicate is 2 away.
So, yeah, so still, you know, pretty late in the game for feats to be up for grabs still. But I feel like we will see it going down probably in the next few minutes. The Herald is spawning in the top side, and both supports have rotated up here. So I'm expecting to see a fight. You know, ults are up for both sides, except there's a little bit left on the Encore maybe. You can't tell if that's a sliver left. So, and it is going to be Chris starting this up. But UltraCAD is in the area. Yengu's here too. And this might be an all-out 4v4 battle.
This level 11 for the Gwen is really important. There's going to be a lot of damage coming in with the tier 2 ulti, and engage from D-Shot doesn't really hit anybody, but here comes that Gwen damage on top. Yengu's in this fight looking for that reset. Will be able to get it on Seaboard. They do. D-Shot's able to get out as well, and they pick up another kill onto Chris, and with Chris not in the fight, they're able to run them all down, and Syndicate take over, and it's because Wormfood is not here, and
I think they left the eye behind, though, actually, but they did get the Herald in the end.
Yeah, and they will be able to get that last kill on Justin, but it's not a complete ace because, yeah, like I said, Wormfood's not here, and without that Jinx, Akuma loses this fight.
The rocket did come through, and it did almost take out D-Shot, but, I mean, we saw a great encore there. You know, essential thing to land. Oh, wait, actually, looks like Akuma actually got the Herald in the middle of all that fighting. I guess it was a smite fight in.
Oh yeah, they have feats.
The mix.
Yeah.
So Akuma's gonna pick up the feats, but I think, you know, obviously feats are always nice, but I think Syndicate is still in a pretty solid spot to win this game. Actually,
yeah, Jinx hits the zap onto Repent, and can't escape that slow. Repent goes down. A nice pick. Maybe step it up a little bit too far. A good flank, if you want to call it, from Wormfood. Nice roam from the ADC. Good play, good play.
And Tate using the Weaver's Wall to get in, you know, help finish off that kill. The slow from the zap sets up the Talia so nicely. It's a long range tool that can set up the follow up. And that Uba showing up out of nowhere. We are on the Chemtech Rift, it is, I think, so there's those super blast moves.
UltraCAD caught in a 1v3 scenario here, doing a lot of damage, but will eventually fall to Chris, and that is a very, very important shutdown that Chris just secured, and it really, that's kind of bad for Syndicate, because the Jinx kill onto Repent, the death for Repent, would have been fine for them to contest this dragon, but now they don't have Gwen, so they cannot contest this dragon.
Gwen will be respawning just a few seconds after that spawns and has the TP, so it's still possible, but it's going to be hard for them to take the necessary space without that major carry alive. And so we'll see if they opt to contest anyway, or if they're going to, you know, back off and just give that one over. Giving Akuma soul point is pretty scary here because, you know, another mistake after that means the Chemtech soul, which is going to help out those carries to dish out a little more damage and not die. So yeah, Dragon not contested on spawn really by either side. It's just a play around the mid wave for now. Seaboyer is going to TP into the mid lane. UltraCAD is still on the top side, and I think Syndicate Bunnygirls is going to be missing having that Gwen here at the start of this fight. They don't really have they have one ward that's getting cleared out now as an option for a flank, and the river is pretty dark.
So the engage starts with a pull onto D-Shot. Probably pulled into the realm. On the side, you have Cordelia trying to do some damage. D-Shot does die, and the reset for the Jinx as Ultracat TP's into the center of 5, but a lot of damage coming to Gwen. The big encore on 4. Kate's the only one who doesn't get hit, but it doesn't matter. There's a reset for Yangu. No! Where does Yangu go? But it's going to be going down. Yangu, Cordelia, and Repent, the last man standing as Kate does use the ultimate to try to follow up and kill this Seraphine, but Akuma will look like they secure their soul point for this Chemtech.
So I think Yengu actually just barely didn't get the kill because, ironically enough, the Gwen did a little too much damage. I think if those champions die a little slower, then I think Yengu can get the reset. We're seeing the whole replay from the start here, you know, already forced out of the fight, getting chunked out so hard. D-Shot also going down first, giving that Jinx the reset.
Yeah, Ultracat comes in, there's a lot of damage, but here's the encore. Yengu, he doesn't get any tag on that kill and can't get the Jinx either. No tags on either, so yeah, it's not that he wasn't able to get the reset. He didn't actually earn a reset. There wasn't a reset to take.
Yeah, it's just
that makes
you know, and that's why it's that chunk at the start of the fight is so valuable, because Viego has to time that ult perfectly to go in, help get a kill, and then grab the body without dying anywhere in between, and that's pretty tough to do when you're so low on health. So great catch, you know, great play around the vision by Akuma. Syndicate had to give up a little too much vision, and they walk right into Akuma's arms. That Nautilus offering a lot of value, as you were saying earlier, for getting that first kill onto the Jinx.
Yeah. I mean, these ultimates from Repent are massive. This Seraphine's going to be coming up on 2 items soon. I do think this game's not quite over for Syndicate. They still have a really winning condition in side lane if Gwen is able to split one-on-one against Mord, which I'm not sure why they're not continuing to play that. Also, Cordelia is seemingly starting to do a lot of damage. I know Nefiri is kind of a 3-item champion. As much as they are like a really early game assassin, they're more of like a scaling assassin. I think once Nefiri hits like 3 items, they kind of just win. As a DPS, as an assassin, they can kill tanks. It's like, it gets really, really good for that champion. So maybe they can scale it out, but it's not looking too good right now.
If Cordelia can play the fights patiently and find an exposed target, I agree with you that Nefiri is going to do a ton of damage and can maybe even test them more than 1v1. Fighting here.
Tengu and D-Shot face checking the Talia, and Chris is there as well. They get knocked up, flipped, stunned, rocks, everything, and it's going to be 2 kills going over to Akuma as Chris, we see, finishing off D-Shot there. Repent on the run. Cordelia's here, but with those 2 kills, Otacon?
Probably going to be Otacon picked up, as now Seaboard is in a heap of trouble down bot, but I don't think Akuma cares too much about that. It's going to be a while till this Gwen is even threatening that next turret, and doesn't have the TP to look anywhere near the Otacon, so...
That's why I thought it was crazy that Gwen was top while I think Cordelia was bottom. Like, why is the Gwen not permanently killing Mordekaiser and pressuring side lane to stop, I guess, Akuma from making these plays, Maybe a little bit of a lane assignment macro issue going on for Syndicate that's kind of allowing Akuma to play the game.
I think Akuma's had very good vision control as well. You see these deep wards that they've set up in the enemy jungle that help them, make that play in the first place. A knock up from the Kayn comes through and sets up the Talia knockback, the seismic shove, which is just, it's such a powerful pick ability. And by taking that Viego out of the fight early, that's a huge threat down on the side of Syndicate.
Yeah, so it looks like about 1,000 gold lead for Akuma as they are going to be marching into bot side here for Dragon Vision. It's a minute 45 on the Chemtech Soul, and if they're able to secure this, I mean, it's one of the weaker souls, so it's not a guaranteed win, but as Dragon Soul is a pretty good win condition, it's going to be very good for Akuma.
I think there's a fight happening up top.
Yeah, it looks, I hear the rock music of Mordekaiser. Seaboard will pick up the solo kill on Cordelia. Again, why are we having the Fury match to Mordekaiser? But Ultracad will be here to probably avenge that death. Maybe they should just let him live for 30 seconds so he's not up for the dragon. What do you think, Thoughts?
That's a long time to let him live and keep collecting the farm, though. And this Rylance is getting a lot of value, slowing them down on the chase, but I've got to imagine that this Mordekaiser will drop eventually.
No,
nice pullback.
Burn?
No, I don't think this Mord has
burn. Yeah. Actually, he doesn't even die. What? And meanwhile, they're losing tier 2 bot lane. Oh my, Seaboard, what?
So somehow, while down 2 kills and 6 deaths, Seaboyer finds basically a 1v3 outplay to get a kill and live. I mean, that is great play from this Mordekaiser, who has been getting bullied a little bit this game.
Wow. If Gwen went for that fight, it looks like that Jinx rocket would have come up there and maybe maybe done something. I don't know if you saw that rocket. That was.
I wasn't paying attention to the minimap there. I missed that a little bit, but I mean, yeah, Akuma now has a pretty solid lead in this game. Dragon Soul coming up in just 20 seconds here, and Baron has spawned, so they've got objectives that, you know, if they can set up vision and keep playing for these picks like they have been, I think it's going to be really hard for Syndicate to contest the space around these. Oh,
yeah, D-Shot coming in on Chris. I don't know if Chris can even die here. He hits a knock-up on 3. There's the Encore. They got all this CC on Chris. Chris is probably going to go in with that Umbral Trespass. A lot of damage coming from Wormfood in the back line. Chris is still alive, flashing over the wall. I mean, they're taking them all down. There it is, a reset for Jinx. A lot of damage coming from that Talia. And Seaboyer and Chris lead that march to push them away. 4 go down. That's going to be Soul, Repent, the last one standing yet again. Here's the replay. Now looking at it from the other side. I was really only casting Akuma's abilities. Cordelia leads it off with some damage onto Justin. And D-Shot comes in with the Magnet Field. Cordelia pops the ulti. Here comes that Encore. After they all get knocked up, Gwen damage to follow through. Yengu off the side. They can't get the reset as the Umbral Trespass inside the rail. And as soon as Chris comes up, it's another 3-man knockup, and then the damage is just gone. Seraphine's on cooldowns, Gwen's on cooldowns. There's no reset because nobody died, so Yengu falls, and they all just go one at a time, and Akuma gets that Dragon Soul.
And that just feels a little antsy from the side of D-Shot. I mean, I feel like when you have the Flash Magnet Storm up as well, you can get so much more than pulling Kane out of the wall. I think it was probably maybe a little bit of a miscommunication because I think the rest of the team wasn't fully ready to follow up on that play either. You know, if you have the follow-up stun from Viego or the Encore coming through immediately after that, and Chris can't get into someone with that Umbral Trespass, it might be a totally different story. But instead, you see how much healing that ultimate and then the W from this Kane offer. He's able to live. You know, it didn't even go down at all after they committed so much to try to find that opening pick. And now it's Soul and Baron picked up by Akuma, which is starting to close the door on Syndicate Bunnygirls' chances in this game and their hopes of playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, Soul and Baron with a Jinx push. I mean, they get some poke on the Jinx there. The only thing that I think is, again, in Syndicate's favor is the Encores have been amazing. Seraphine scales really well, and maybe Repent can carry them, but we do not want to see this if we think Syndicate has a chance and we're rooting for them. We do not want to see the Gwen losing one-on-one to the Mordekaiser. That is not going to help their chances at all.
Seaboyer with another solo kill, and I mean, has been really finding great plays in this counter matchup.
Oh, but we do find a pick maybe onto the Jinx. Wormfood goes down. That's going to be a reset for Yengu. Chris in the front line, though, just takes Yengu down right away. As soon as he turns into that 80 carry, he falls. And it'll be another kill for Akuma as Chris just leads the pack, doing so much damage. So fed on this Kane. Has to be like 10 kills at this point. And Kate as well might just get a double by themselves. Flashing forward and finish them off. Wow.
Yengu, I mean, yeah, they get the initial pick onto the Jinx, but turning into an 80 carry while you're in the middle of the enemy team is not really what you want to do, unfortunately. And Yengu isn't able to ult out either, and now does look like the game is going to be coming to a close here.
Yeah, a little bit of a fancy Umbral Trespass ulti again for Chris and a kill to finish it off, dancing inside the Nexus with that Shadow Step. Akuma Shurikens will take game number 2, and this will be a 2-0 for Akuma as they maybe give themselves a playoff chance, a playoff first chance. So, congratulations, Akuma. Good job.
So they're taking their sweet time, racking up a few extra kills. There goes the Nexus. I mean, they have the Baron buff, whole bunch of minions, and that is going to be a 2-0 for the side of Akuma Shurikens.
That's their first 2-game series, right? That's what we were told. All of their games have been 2-1 wins or 1-2 losses.
Yep, so, you know, nice to see a more decisive win for them. Might give them some additional momentum as they try to make this last chance at playoffs here. you know, and I think that record that they had shows that they can contest most of the teams in this league, even if the match record doesn't reflect it so nicely. Yeah. So very well played by Akuma. You know, those games they felt close until they weren't, as games often do when there is a jinx.
Yeah, and Akuma, I'm not really sure what the schedule is. I actually want to check because I think we'll be coming up on that last game. Akuma against Faceless next week. Faceless is the other 1-4 team, so it should be quotes, should be a win for them unless Faceless also won this week. But Akuma will put themselves at 3 wins if they win out, and they'll be contesting those 3rd and 4th place spots, kind of depending on how the other teams fall out. You know, how if they win or lose. So maybe we'll see Akuma in playoffs, maybe we won't. But what do we got? 1 week left of Conqueror, and then I think playoffs, and I'll be there for it as far as I know. I don't know if Freedom Potatoes will be with me, but
I might be with you, might be with someone else, but I will be there for playoffs, and I'll be looking forward to it. You know, we might see some more explosive gameplay out of the Conqueror League.
Yeah, for sure. Alrighty, buddy. Have a great night. We got a quick 2-0 tonight. I don't really know if there's anything else to talk about. I'm Meta Shift, Freedom Potatoes.
Yeah.
Merch. Hello?
Hey,
merch. Did you guys get that one? Merch?
I
don't know what to say for that. No one gave me the Titan Esports merch. Follow me on TitanEsports.com or FOFesports.com/Titan. and if you want merch, you can use this promo code right here. I don't even know if it says that. I'm not reading, so no promo code. I lied, but if you want one, DM Sems, say give me the promo code. I might have lied again. I don't know if you can do that. But everyone, you know, there's merch. Have a good night. I'm Meta Shift. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm gonna leave. There you go. Perfect. I did.